بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا. We were talking about the test of faith that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described in Surah Kahf. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to save us from all tests, especially tests of faith, because in the different ways in which human beings are tested, the test of faith, shukuk, which is doubts, and shubuhat, which is all kinds of thoughts and suspicions and so on, doubts, in the faith, in the creed, in aqidah, these are the most severe, because everything else is curable, doable. Even if nothing happens, you, in the worldly life, you have some difficulty, you suffer. But when it's a matter of shukuk and shubuhat, doubts and whisperings of shaitan in the faith itself, then the consequence of that is in the akhirah. If you have many material difficulty, may Allah save us from all of these. We have some material difficulties, financial loss, illness, loss of health. All of these are of this world. So they are curable, they can be changed. Even if nothing happens, one day you die, it's khalas, finished. After that, it doesn't matter. But if there is a doubt of faith, ईमान के अंदर अगर कोई शक है, शुबा है, जिसकी वजह से ईमान अगर खराब हो गया, तो अकीदा खराब हो गया, if the aqidah is corrupted, then the consequence of that is in the akhirah. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for special protection from that, and we ask Allah to keep us on the path of yaqeen and with tawakkul live in this world and meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a state where we have complete and total faith in Him, and we see that actually in reality when we meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The narration of the As-haab Kahf, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned that these were fityatun amanu bi rabbihim wa zidnahum huda. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said these were young men who had faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increased them in hidayah, in guidance. And they lived at a time when it became more and more progressively difficult to practice their faith in the place they were living in. And the people of the land and the king of the land, they were against Islam, they were against the faith, and they were persecuting people who were Muslimin. And these people, they left, and in order to preserve their faith. Now see the thing here. They did not leave because they had some financial difficulty or something else. They left because they were not able to practice their faith properly in that land. Right? So hijrat, to leave your land in order to be able to practice your faith correctly. This is, the dalil of that is in the Quran itself. The dalil of that is in the seerah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because that's why he made hijrat. He did not make hijrat for any other reason. He made hijrat because it was becoming difficult, almost impossible to practice Islam and to live as a Muslim in Makkah. So he left his place of birth and he went to Medina. Before that, he sent himself, the Sahaba, to Al-Habasha, to Abyssinia, which was the first hijrah. And then Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam left, and he also went to Medina. So hijrat for the sake of Islam. And again, in the hadith of Niyyah, innamal a'malu bin niyat. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam specifically mentioned. He says, the one who makes hijrat for business or to marry somebody, his hijrat is for that reason, not for the sake of Allah and Rasul. The hijrat for the sake of Allah and His Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is the hijrat which is made only for the purpose of being able to practice Islam and live as a Muslim. If it is for any other reason, then it is for that reason. Yeah, he's not saying it is haram, but it is for that reason. It does not count as hijrah in Islam. That is some travel. You travel to some place for some reason, for business or this or that. Alhamdulillah. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning this, that these people, they left and they left their place of birth, place of residence, and they went away in order to be able to practice Islam correctly. Now, then what happened? So they went, and when they went, they made dua. And this dua is one of the most powerful duas in the Quran, which I'm sure you know. If you don't know, you must memorize it and make this dua. This is the dua which caused them to be protected, especially by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protected them, and He kept them safe for 309 years. Allah mentioned the number in the Quran, 309 years. And they were put into a state of sleep, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, we made them turn on their sides. Yeah? If you just lie down in one place, people who are sick and so on, you get bed sores and all kinds of things happen. Muscle deteriorates, within months, within weeks. Muscle deteriorates, you become paralyzed, you cannot get up after that, there is no strength. None of that happened to these people. They were human beings, they were not malaik or something, right? Their muscle did not deteriorate, they didn't get bed sores, nothing happened to them. Allah said He made them turn on their sides. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala directed the sunlight also to shine into the cave, but in a way that did not disturb their sleep. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created, He cast some kind of force around them, which it was something which anyone who went close to that, they felt this terror, they felt this tremendous fear that they didn't go near there. That otherwise people are there in this cave, somebody would have gone to, if nothing, just to see what's happening, curiosity or something. Nobody would go near there because of this protection which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made for them and kept them safe in that place. And after 309 years, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in His own way, by His own will, He had them awaken. So by that 309 years, all the difficulties that these people were in, the kind of king and the kind of government and the kind of hukuma and so forth, was gone, right? It doesn't last for that long. And a new civilization, new nation was there, which was conducive to Islam. People where these people now could practice their faith. So when they woke up, and then they sent one of their number, they sent, go to the town and see if you can get something. And the man went with his currency, with his coins, which was 300 years old. So that's how people discovered, oh, these are the people. And when they were asked, how long were you asleep? They said, Yawman aw ba'da yawm. Maybe for a day, maybe part of a day, maybe a couple of hours, after 300 years. So this dua which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught them and which they made, they said, Rabbana atina min ladunka rahma wa hayyi lana min amrina rashada. Rabbana atina min ladunka rahma wa hayyi lana min amrina rashada. And this is a very powerful and beautiful dua. And we should make this dua. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept this dua in our favor. Some other things we learn from this. One is and the Quran mentions this argument. One is the discussion people used to have, and they have till how many were there? the adad of these people. Was it five? And then they had a dog which went along with them, so the dog also was there. So was it five people and a dog, or six of the six, or seven, or a dog, and so on, so on, so on. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is teaching us in this that is not important. Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could have mentioned specifically that many number khalas, like He mentioned the number of years. He did not mention. So Allah is, the direction here also is that when you engage in anything, don't waste your time in talking about and discussing things that have no value. So how many people were there? Why is that important? Whether it was 2 or 3 or 4 or 10 or we don't know, whatever it was, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows. And what is important is why were they there? Why did they do what they did? How does it apply to us? The importance is not whether they were, how many they were. So very important for us to also focus when we look at things on the important aspects of that and not get distracted into this way or that way. Another lesson we can learn from this is also the dog who was with them. Right? The dog is mentioned in the Quran specifically, not because he was a dog, but because this dog was associated with people who were good people. So the importance of company. If you are with good people, you get mentioned with good people. If you are with evil people, you get mentioned with that. So even though you may not have any personal significance, right? After all, it's an animal. It's not, nothing very significant or important about that. But that animal is mentioned because of the association. It's mentioned because he is associated with people who are good people. So this is also one of the lessons from this particular incident. There are, of course, other lessons also, including when the people of Makkah, they went to the Yahud, to the Jews, and they said, we have this person is amongst us, Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and he is claiming to believe in one God and so on, and you people have some similarity with what you say. So how do we know whether he is a true messenger or not? So the rabbis, the Jewish rabbis, they gave them some questions to ask, and they said, ask him about these things. If he knows those answers, then he is a true prophet. And they said, even we don't know. These are questions which are there. We don't know. And one of those questions was this. He said, ask him about the people of the cave. Who are these people? What was this? What was the story? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned this story. And in that process also, we have the lesson where when they came and asked Rasulullah said, I will tell you tomorrow. Because Jibreel salam is to come to him every day. So he thought, he'll come, I'll ask him. He will bring the answer from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he said, I will tell you tomorrow. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala stopped wahi for a long period after that. The next day, Jibreel salam didn't come. And many days passed. And Rasulullah got very concerned and very worried. And then the people of Makkah, they started, they were his enemies. So they started making all kinds of allegations and so on and so on. I don't want to repeat all those things, but so they said all, the not nice things. So, and which made Rasulullah very sad that this whole thing happened. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then sent Jibreel salam, he sent all the answers and so on. And he also taught Rasulullah and us that when you say something, say Insha'Allah, by the will of Allah, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wills. So the importance of saying Insha'Allah with something. Unfortunately, we have converted that also into a problem. Today, when you don't want to do something, you say Inshallah. So Inshallah is like, this is actually taught. I mean, I was surprised and very sorry to see that. There are little clips on YouTube on people who are teaching Arabic words and so on. So there is this lady who is teaching Arabic words, and she says, what is the word for no? Right? So she says, la is no. And also Insha'Allah means no. How shameful is that? Because she says she says among the Arabs, meaning among the Muslims, she says that when they don't want to do something, they say inshallah. Yeah? In Saudi, we have this famous thing, the IBM. Inshallah, Bukra Malish. Huh? Inshallah, tomorrow, khalas, forget it. La hawla wa quwwata illa billah. We should be ashamed of them. And I'm not joking. I'm saying this as a very sad thing. That this is the word of Allah. This is something Allah's, the wahi of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying to His Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, say insha'Allah. Meaning what? Meaning no, no. So we say insha'Allah with complete yaqeen that insha'Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help us to do whatever good that we intend to do. So therefore this is a very important thing. If you are not intending to do something, say that. Say very clearly, I'm sorry, I cannot tell you. I cannot promise you anything. Say it just like that. Don't say inshallah. What do you mean inshallah? You have no intention of doing something. Right in the beginning, you don't want to say that. Just say clearly, I'm sorry, I can't do this. Khalas. That's just inshallah as a way of escaping. No. So this is very important for us to also remember. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us to learn the lessons that He intends us to learn from His kalam and to live our lives according to how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala intends us to live. Today is also Friday, so let us remember to read Surah Al-Kahf, the protection from Dajjal, and this is the blessed sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So make sure we read and then also send lot of salat and salam on Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, lot of durood. In any case, we should do that on a daily basis, but on Friday at least, try to do that at least 1,000 times, inshallah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept that from us and to fill our lives with the barakah of sending salat and salam on His Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam. Wa sallallahu ala nabiyil kareem wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahim.